Okay, so now we're moving into the 5th chapter where we discuss different gates to happiness. We talked in the previous times. We talked about the correlation between happiness and money, happiness and your job, happiness with your children, with your health. And today we're going to talk a little bit about love. Let's talk about love, right? Love. Love is maybe the most misunderstood concept in the world. We use it a lot, but many times we use it in the wrong way because we don't really define what love is. Love is, in Judaism, love will be oneness. We learn that from the aspect of Kriyat Shema. They say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Right after that, Ve'ahavta. Echad, the numerical value of 1 is 13. So is the numerical value of Ahava, is 13, it's the same thing. When a person feels one with someone, they could develop a relationship that relationship is called a loving relationship. In other words, loving relationship will be oneness relationship. To love your fellow Jew is to understand that Am Yisrael, Goy Echad Ba'aretz, one nation in the land. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves the Jews when things go their way, when they are one with each other, because there has love with each other, and then that oneness brings love to Hashem, and so on and so forth. Love does not refer to the physical aspect, the mechanical aspect of what we call making love. Is anything but that. That is a very wrong concept that comes to describe a functioning of multiplication or deriving pleasure. That's not called expression of love, because the same act could become an act, God forbid, of rape. So that's not making love. The mechanical aspect of it is not. Therefore, however, you could so-called make love to a person without any physical contact by acting in a oneness fashion. That's why you could, quote unquote, and I'm not an advocate, God forbid, of homosexuality, but you could love a man. You can make love to a man by being, man to a man, by feeling one with him. Yes, to us it sounds, taboo, but it's not really it. So we need to understand the physical aspect is just a small segment of the expression of oneness. That's the ultimate thing. When two bodies are connected together, they're now becoming physically one. But before that, they should have been spiritually one. That's why when a person has a physical relationship with a person that are not spiritually connected, that's a very mechanical aspect. That's not called love. And one needs to understand that. Many people who describe themselves of being happy people is people that have love in their lives. And that love could be for many things, So therefore you could say, wait a minute. So is that a sensation of I feel important or contribution? It's all of the above. Love has many aspects to it. However, people who are happy usually have something or someone to love in their lives. One of the worst things to do is when you get married and you explore your relationship and so on and so forth, and all of a sudden you go into the routine. Life would make sure to go into a routine so you can function, and then you take it for granted, and then you look and there's nothing there. You see that All you have to talk to each other is about work or about your difficulties. All of a sudden you realize that you stop talking about the future. You maybe make plans for the next 24 hours or the next week. But people that don't talk about the future, what they want to do, for example, when they retire, what we're going to do next year, we're going to do in 10 years, usually express the fact that they don't want to be with each other. They're just there because of convenience and so on and so forth. So when you have a spouse and if you all of a sudden realize that, hey, we never talk about what we're going to do when we retire. We never talk about what we're going to do when, let's say, 5 years from now. That is a sign of warning. So all the signs are there because all of a sudden things just took for granted. You don't find yourself accidentally, and I know in the Haredi world, those expressions of love are very secure, but you know what I'm talking. There's no out in the open expressions of love and affection anymore. And it's very important for you to show affection in front of your kids. Okay, within reason, of course, but to show affection in front of your kids because, believe it or not, you are going to be the model in which they would follow. To most part. Sometimes it will go the other way around, but you're going to be the model which either they're going to do exactly like this or they're going to use as a thing not to be. So you have to be very responsible. But beyond that, we're talking about happiness now. So, for example, I'll give you a few things that could help you or that could help people in a happy marriage and in a happy relationship. For example, before you go in the morning, you go out to work, you go out of the house, tell your spouse, I don't believe in partners, by the way. I believe in spouse, marriage. There's no partner, right? Because a partnership could be broken. Now tell your spouse that in the morning, for example, what are you going to do today for, I'm going to go to work, I'll do this, I'll do that. Give yourself a minute, 1 minute, 60 seconds of what you're going to do today. Share it with them. Share it with them. How much are you going to get? 5 minutes a day? But that will help you a lot. When you come back from work, never, by the way, sit down in front of when you eat and be involved with your social media or with what I call the anti-social media, all the Facebook and the Twitters and the WhatsApp and so on and so forth. First of all, you should not have any of them. You should not have a Twitter account. You should not have a Facebook account, because all it does is teach you how not to have friends, how not to interact with people. Okay? So, but let's say you come from work. Give each other 5 minutes in which you're going to explain to your spouse or share with your spouse what happened to you at work today. After that, the work is over. Make a mental switch in your head, spit it out, and no more work. It will help you recuperate for the next day because you got it out of your chest. You realize that there's somebody there who listens to you. Most people who are unhappy, they're not unhappy because they are worried of what will happen in the future. Most people are unhappy because they feel that they have nobody to talk to, nobody to share. So here, 5 minutes you share what you have with someone, what happened to you at work today, and that will be a wonderful thing. After that, you could reignite your life, your dreams, your fantasies, or whatever it is. If you're going to talk 2 minutes or 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day, a night, at the end of the 5-day week, so you spoke 25 minutes about your work, so you got it under control. You spoke 25 minutes, that's it, no more than that. But you also realize that before, you might not have had any kind of, because the other person doesn't want to listen to you. But here, all of a sudden, somebody listened to you, and you realize, oh, it's important, I can share it with the person. So you recognize the importance of the person because he's willing to listen to you, because he knows or she knows that that's going to end. And then they can tell you what happened today, and it's good to get it off your chest. So you achieve a lot by doing so. You achieve a lot. Of course, with permissible halachic conditions, in terms of family purity and so on and so forth, hug each other. Allow yourself to hug each other. Allow yourself to hug your spouse. The same thing as when you were young and you were working in the kitchen and so-called accidentally, you kind of bumped into your wife or she bumped into you to just give you this tap of emotion. I'm here. And you feel this little butterfly. Continue to do so when you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and so on and so forth. Hugging is a very big thing. And it is in a way, I'm surrounding myself to your embracement, in your hands, and you are doing the same thing to me. Did you ever try to hug a person that goes like this? It's very bizarre. So that mutual trust is a wonderful, wonderful thing. To your relationship, hugging is a very big thing. So allow yourself to put your hands in the domain of your spouse, and they will do the same thing to you, and now you feel equal. You feel good. You feel love again. They will give you this little butterfly that you feel. I think that people should go on dates. It's not necessarily going to restaurants and so on, which it could be a very nice thing. I'm